G'day. Welcome back. Yes, welcome back. So, welcome back to my very echoey house. I've timed it. It's 3 minutes. No, it's not. It's 3 seconds. The echo lasts for 3 seconds, which is annoying. Anyway, really good to be at this point. The plasterers have been finished now for a bit over a week. They've packed up all of their stuff. They've taken off and just left me in this state of disarray. There's still plastic, cardboard on the floor. We've got to go around, tape up the windows. We need to tape up the OSB on the ceiling above the kitchen, because we're going to spray everything inside. We're spraying the ceilings, we're spraying the walls. Hopefully we're not going to spray the floors too much, but there's carpet going into the bedrooms, so that's okay. I've got some paint, I've got a sprayer, I've got some motivation, but we've got to do some taping. Just so you know, there is a proper way to do all of this. I'm not following that advice, I'm just making it up as I go along. But what I've found to work reasonably well for us is we're using a fairly wide tape. It's about, I don't know, 30 mil wide. So I'm using this to get the tight edge next to the plaster where we're going to be spraying up to. This will give us a good straight edge, nice sharp corners, and hopefully keep the paint out because it's pretty sticky tape. I think this is 2 days, 48-hour clean removal. So it's going to take us longer than that to paint the whole house. So I'm putting this down first around the edges, then I'm putting this average masking tape on top of this, and I don't have to be so clean and tidy with the edge of this one because I've already done it with a good quality tape. So we've got polythene film all the way across the top, masking tape up the top. That's dropped down, we've taped the bottom up to it. And just so we don't get any overspray on the sealed floor that's not going to be covered by the skirting boards, I've got a bit of tape here. And the transition to carpet here, I'm not sure where that's going to be, so we just brought that into the room a little bit. Maybe come in there a little bit. Corner in here we need to patch. Probably under there. The rest of the bathroom's pretty bright. But I'll go around and tape up a little bit more. And then, let's get messy. Charlie's made herself a nest in the dustiest plastic around. Haven't you? You are a weirdo. Masked up the top window up there in the light well. Just working on the window in here and realised I'm going to have to mask up all of this timber, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. So that's how we've been taping up windows. Off to the software store to go and get some more masking tape. Might get another couple of... What are you doing, you weirdo? You're so strange. It's the dustiest bit of plastic you could have found, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, silly dog. Getting high again. This one's not. This has been very lazy. Managed to mask off one section of OSB. It's looking fairly good. It's a glorious drop of morning today. 'Tis a bit fresh. We got some fog in the valley and it sort of seems to be blowing up our hill, which is pretty usual. But she's thick over here. Pretty thick out the front. So I don't think we've come off too badly. But inside, thankfully, so what is it? It's 7:30 in the morning. We're just about to hit daylight savings. So we've had daylight. We've had sunrise was probably, I don't know, maybe an hour ago or something like that. So it's still quite fresh. But in the house, it's glorious. Got some temperature sensors tucked around the place. One in here. Got one in the bedroom over there. And there's one outside. This app is Bluetooth to all of those pucks. And you can see these two at the top here. This one here and this one here. They're both around 20 degrees. And the one outside shows 5 degrees. So working beautifully, 20 degrees from a 5-degree night. Actually, I don't know what it was overnight. Uno momento. So, 6, yeah, look, 5 is pretty close to its minimum anyway. So for it to have stayed in the 20s in the house, average 21, maximum 25.4, minimum 18.4. Yeah, look, it's only going up and down 5 degrees. That's probably when we had a door open for a while. Oh no, that's a night time. That's Monday midday, that's midnight Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning when it got down to 2 degrees, it got down to 18.5. Oh yeah, minimum 18.4. It's really interesting to see the data for the information that we're feeling. It's really hard to get across to you guys without real data that you can compare it to. So it's very interesting to have these three tucked around the place to give us the information that we can log and put on a spreadsheet and get all geeky with it. So it is interesting. So anyway, this morning we are working our way towards breaking out that paint sprayer. A bit more masking. I've got this window, this bit of OSB to do, and a little bit in the bathroom and a couple of doors before we bust out the paint pumper, paint sprayer, paint the mess maker, the wall finisher, the completion, the finish, the fun bit. I want to spray paint now. To the best of my knowledge, we have taped everything. We haven't taped the dog up. That probably won't stand still anyway. All of the OSB up the top here, the windows on the top. We are officially ready to unpack this beast. It's a Wagner Control Pro 350 Extra. I think the Extra is just a longer hose and an extra spray nozzle. It's going to look a little something like this. And I'm hoping it's going to make painting look easy. So I'll get it all set up and we'll come back to you. So cement sheet on the back here, it's never going to be seen. So we'll set up the gun and try a few rows and see how bad we are at it. I have diluted our primer with about 1 litre of water. So it's probably, I don't know, 10%, not quite 10% diluted. So it's a little bit more runny than it was originally. We'll set you guys up in the corner and we'll go to town. Way not enough pressure. Yeah, there pressure. fast and a bit too wide. So, getting a bit... Okay, I think we've got the settings dialed. I had to wind up the pressure a little bit because it was sort of dribbling out of here and leaving a few spatfers. So we've dialed it up to a little bit over halfway on the dial. Actually, you could probably check that dial and tell me how much pressure is in it.
Yeah, just over 3.
Just over 3 out of 5. And what does the pressure dial say? 1,400 psi. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Okay. All right. Well, that's what we're at with no spatfers. So we'll give this room a try. This is the first room that counts. The back of the kitchen we'll never see, so we'll see how this one goes. So far so good. That was quick.
Yeah. Gee, that looks amazing.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a nice finish. So, I don't know if I can actually get it to focus, but yeah, there you go. There is a little bit of texture to it, but it's very uniform, and my crappy rolling skills means that there'd be lines in it for sure, and this thing is doing a pretty good job of just making an even texture. So I'm quite pleased with that. And what did that take? A couple of minutes? So, first room. Looking pretty good. We did end up with, you can probably just see in the reflection there, a couple of stripes. The coverage is not 100% even. Where I'm overlapping, maybe I'm overlapping too much or not enough or whatever. But I'm guessing that those stripes will probably disappear. We'll come back to this once it's dried. But that's, again, changed the room so much. It's a lot lighter, being one even colour now. The floor's got a beautiful layer of dried painty dust to it now, so that's great. So first impressions, get a respirator. Man, it's water-based paint, but this prep, one-step prep by Dulux, it's got a bit of a nose to it. So we're going to put pause on this for the moment, go and pick up a couple of respirators and get back into it. Well, that is the fastest way I know of to get rid of 60 litres of paint. That's taken us probably 3 hours, maybe 4 with a trip to the software store. We have managed to get the study, my room next to it, the entryway, we've got the larder, We have got the ceiling to the lounge room and the west and east walls done. Erica sewing room, still a little bit stripy across there. Hadn't quite got my technique down yet, but it's looking pretty suave. I'm very happy about all of the taping and the corners and how it's gone into the corners. It's looking pretty nice. I suppose I'm looking at this as a finished coat. You know, the coverage should be perfect. It's only an undercoat. Like we've chewed through a lot of paint for undercoat. Hopefully the top coats are a little bit easier on the bucket and the wallet. If you can see in here, we've got the laundry done until we ran out of paint. So anyway, I'm pretty happy about that. We're just cleaning up the machine now. First impressions, I suppose it still is, after 60 litres of paint and 3/4 of a house. That's maybe half a house. Pretty good. I'm impressed. There's no faster way to put down 60 litres of paint. That is for sure. It's a bit of a turd masking and, you know, putting paper everywhere and all of that. But you only need to do it once and then you've still got, you know, it's good for 3 coats. So it was expensive. It cost me $1,035, I think. But look, I would definitely do this again. For this size project, I don't think you need anything bigger. You certainly wouldn't want anything smaller. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to. So far, I'm really happy. We've got the rest of the place to finish with the primer coat, so we'll pick up a couple of tubs tomorrow and get stuck back into it again. So we keep going. Morning. Day 3 of painting inside. Yesterday we got some ceiling paint up and it is looking pretty schmick. Very happy with how that's come out. You can probably see behind me, this is the lounge room ceiling. It's only 2 coats so far, so there's an undercoat and the first top coat of ceiling flat white. So it's looking really nice, but there's just a couple of little stripes in it. So you can definitely see the stripes in the undercoat on the other side on those walls, here and here. It actually stands out more on the camera than it does by eye. But hopefully this guy is looking pretty smart. Still got one more coat to put on him too, but yeah, I think that's looking really nice. The bathroom has brightened up considerably. It's no longer, oh wow, look at that. Again, just undercoat up there, you can see those stripes going up. But very happy with how it's gone on. We have gone through a lot more paint than I estimated. I think at the beginning of this, if I choose to leave it in, I might edit it out to make myself look good. I was like, oh, we'll go through 1 can of undercoat, 15 litres, that should do the whole house. We might need a 4 or a 6 litre can to sort of finish it off. We went through 6 15 litre cans of undercoat, that's 90 litres. That's less than 75 gallons. We've gone through 1 ceiling can. Top coats, obviously, because they're going onto undercoat, aren't sinking in as much, providing a lot better coverage, etc, etc. All said and done, very happy with this little machine. It is doing a very, very good job of making us look good, I think. Absolute perler of a day today. I think we've hit about 21, 22 degrees. Nice and calm, beautiful for drying paint. Erica's just in tidying up a little bit now. She's just vacuuming up some dust. But today we managed to get all of the ceilings with 2 coats on. So that means, as we currently are, we've got undercoat on all of the walls and the ceilings. And we've got 2 coats of ceiling paint everywhere that needs to go. We were so close to running out of ceiling paint. It was actually really good. We didn't waste barely more than a cup. And that's just sort of more to good luck than good planning, I suppose. So where we've got ceilings that meet walls, we need to tape up the ceilings here, bring some plastic in along the ceiling line so that we can spray the walls. So we need to do that in every room, hooray. But then hopefully by the end of the week we can spray some walls, which would be nice. Still very stripy, the undercoat there, but the ceiling paint has come out absolutely mint. Very, very sharp. Certainly worthwhile. It saved us a lot of time. We were just discussing rollering these ceilings if we had to. I don't think I could do it. I've spent
You just pay someone to
I've spent the best part of 2 days looking up at the ceilings. Oh, was it 2 days?
2 days.
Yeah. But yeah, rollering, man, up here, off a scaffold. Nah, no way. A dog is asleep. Little does it know that it's going for a walk soon. What have I got? Paint.
You've got a big white spot on your nose.
Oh, I've got big white spots everywhere. Dog's going for a walk. I'm going to mow lawns.
Yes.
Okay, bye. Yes, welcome back. Day 5 of painting, masking, moving scaffolding around, hopping up and down ladders, tripping over the dog. It's been madness. But we've arrived at a point where we're nearly ready to paint the walls. We've got 2 coats on all of the ceilings. They look really nice. We've still got this stripy undercoat on most of the walls, well, on all of the walls. And we are setting up the masking tape and the plastic film on all of the ceilings so we can go ahead and spray the walls. We've changed our minds 15 times about this area. This is the light well over the entryway. We thought we would mask these walls off from this wall because this is essentially ceiling. That's definitely ceiling. We thought this should probably be ceiling and this underneath here should be ceiling, but this is definitely wall. So we were trying to run masking tape up this corner, and because it's such a, what is that? An acute corner? Obtuse? That's a acute corner, I suppose. It is quite cute. It was a pain in the bum. That's what it was. Couldn't get the tape to sit flat on either side. It was just a right prick. So we scrapped that idea. Now we've taped off the ceiling proper and the ceiling that's underneath here, and we're just going to spray everything else. Even though this has got ceiling paint on it, we're going to spray everything wall coloured. Speaking of wall coloured, we've gone with Hames paint, which is made in Australia. It's been going since 1830 something from Ballarat. We've chosen a colour called Droplet. It's very similar to a colour that we had in our previous house that we quite liked. We're going with a similar colour scheme with timbers and, well, OSB. Is that timber? Sort of. It's a little bit hard to see. I don't know if it's going to be an accurate representation. It is sort of a dusky grey. It's a very pale, warm grey. I don't know, I'm wondering whether this is in some... I look at it now and go, nah, that's too dark. You look at it up against this and I don't know, just wonder. It's going to change things again, that's for sure. Anyway, these decisions have got to be made. We've just gone, let's get, I don't know, 60 litres of Droplet coloured paint. So we've gone ahead and done that, for better or worse. Sickness, health, definitely poorer. Anyway, got to go and do stuff that doesn't involve houses. We'll be back to spray very soon. It'll be like right now for you. Okay. Gee, that's covering well. That's going on real well. Well, I've got no battery left, but we've just noticed a heap of runs. Where we've sprayed vertically up and down, it's not too bad, but where we've gone horizontally, bit of a disaster zone. So that's going to be a turd sandwich. We're going to have to sand that back, wait for it to fully dry, which is probably going to be a couple of days. We've got good results through most of the place. You saw me paint this wall, and that was up and down, but the parts where we've gone horizontal, got more runs than a jogger with diarrhea. But anyway, we'll have to deal with that at a later stage. Okay. So yeah, a bit disappointing, a little bit bittersweet. It's nice to have the place coated with some wall paint, but unfortunately we've got some issues we've got to deal with. So that's a job for another day. It's getting late. Keep seeing more. We've probably got half a dozen or so areas that we need to sand down. It's still progress, I suppose.
Colour's good.
Erica likes the colour. Be nice to see the contrast between the white ceilings and the wall paint once we remove all of this masking tape. That'll be very satisfying, as long as we don't peel off the ceiling paint. So, anyway, till next time. Well, till probably tomorrow or the weekend. It's the next day. As it's dried, those drip marks, those lines of saggy extra paint, they have receded a little bit. It's still a little bit obvious. I gave these a bit of a sand this morning, and I think we'll be able to paint over them fairly successfully. This is sort of the drip line through here. It's flattening off with a bit of sanding, so I think we'll be okay. Still disappointing, but that's what you get. We're still learning with the paint sprayer. We did change paint, so it was behaved a little bit differently. And while I thought I was too far away and my spray pattern was too wide, it was actually really good for the most part. And it was just here where I thought I should probably close that gap up a little bit. We've ended up with too much overlap, too much paint on the walls, and that's ended up running. So, bit more work for us, but we'll get through it. Anyway, this is not getting any sanding done, so I'm going to put you guys down. Going to get to sanding for a bit, and then we'll crack on with some painting, hopefully. I think that's it for us for the day. Bit of paint. Look, it's probably going to be us for this video too. Actually, we've run out of light today. We did manage to sand out these marks over here on this wall. There was a couple more dribbles up here behind us. They didn't prove to be too bad. The paint had dried out enough that we could literally just sand it flat, and we were able to go over the top of it without really noticing that they're there anymore. Anyway, thanks for checking in with us. This is going to wrap up the plastering and the painting, I hope. It'll be really nice to pull all this masking down, all the plastic and everything, get rid of that. It'd be nice to pull up the cardboard and have our floor back. We've got to do that because of the marks that are on the floor. We need to pinpoint where the electricians need to bring out some lights for our kitchen bench. All in all, really happy with the paint sprayer. We could not have done this whole house in the time that we've done it, which is, what did we have? 1, 2, 3, 6. This is our 6th day of painting, and we've got an undercoat everywhere in the house. We've got all of the ceilings done, and we've got most of the walls with 2 coats on. Couldn't have done it and stayed sane, or married, perhaps, with a roller. Just, roller and cutting in for 3 different coats would have driven me absolutely bonkers. So, worth its weight. If you've got to do a whole house, worth its weight. The cleanup with this is not insignificant, but it's not ridiculous. It's pretty easy to flush through with some water. Probably the worst thing is masking up everything, and masking it up twice. Instead of cutting in, you mask off the ceiling so you can spray the walls. Instead of cutting in around windows, you mask them off. So there is a lot of masking tape, probably $200 of masking tape and plastic all up. If you've got a big project, consider one of the sprayers. It's very convenient pulling out of the tubs, that's for sure. It made it really fast. So if you've got a project like this, it's certainly worth checking it out. That's going to wrap this one up for us. Thanks for checking in. Hopefully next time you see the place, we'll have got rid of all of this masking tape and plastic around the joint. We might even be working on a kitchen, perhaps. We'll see you in the next one.